Hi, welcome to my data science video tutorial. In last couple of videos, I demonstrated how to install R and Python, both on Windows and Ubuntu Linux. This series of videos is all about getting you started on your data science and analytic project. Now, since R and Python are increasingly becoming industry standards in the areas, and there are many of you would like to either move to Python from R or vice versa, or you would like to add both these amazing tools to your box. In this video series, I would try to draw parallels between these two heavyweights by trying to demonstrate the equivalent commands. I would encourage you all to post comments if you know a better way of doing it. This is the way we would learn together. So let's get started. I will cover basic library or package or modules in this video, primarily how to install, update, and get help. Okay? So as you can see, I have already launched the RStudio terminal here. The way you call a library is through this command library, and whatever is the library. So in this case, dplyr. Right? This is when you do this command, you actually call in all the functions that are available in dplyr. Right? If you want to install a particular library, how you install is through this command, install.packages and the name of the library that you want to install in quotes. So for example, let's install hmisc. It takes a little time. It basically tries to download the library from a specified CRAN mirror that you have already specified in the settings. I can show you after it got downloaded. The beauty of this particular command is it also downloads all the dependencies. So if these libraries are not installed in your R, it would try to install them as it goes. So you have to give it a little while. You can check the progress here. This is the download progress. Now it is trying to install or download Lattice Extra. Right. So once the package gets downloaded and installed, you would get this kind of messages that it is successfully unpacked and MD5 sums checked. So that means you have installed the library. So installation of library doesn't mean that you already have access to all the functions. You have to call in that library in this case. If you want to call all the functions that are inherently there in hmisc, you have to call the library like we did, did here. So let's call in this library. hmisc. And now you have access to all the functions that are available in hmisc. So I was talking about the CRAN mirrors. You can check the CRAN mirrors from here by going to the tools and the options, and then under the packages you see there are different CRAN mirrors that you can choose from. So these are the options you have. I would encourage that you select the one that you are near to, or rather just leave it by default, say RStudio Global. So I'd leave it at that. This is the way you can change. You just select and make a change. Yeah, so you can select from here either this way, or there's a command as well. I think it's choose CRAN mirror and then parentheses. Be very careful about your cases here. These are all case sensitive. And when you see in RStudio this red button, that means something is working. Right, so this is another way you can you can make a change. You have to make a selection here. Like if you want to select Chile, type 3 and whatever, I would just leave it as 1 as a default. Now if you want to update any library, so these are the libraries that are already installed, and you can see these are the version numbers, but if there's an update, you can directly click in here, right? So as you can see, it is giving you a suggestion that these two libraries, installed libraries version is this, and there are two, it has you know, the updates are available. You can select them and then install updates. So it would just update the packages. Right, or you have a command called update dot packages. So if you're not very sure, this is another handy tool that you have. Yeah, you can just write a little bit and then do tab to see what are the different options that you have. So in this case, you can just pick and choose, and then provide the name of the particular package that you want to update. But right now, as we know that there are no other updates, so just leave it at that. So this is the way you can update a package. All right, so next up is how you can get help from a package. So the easiest command is help, and provide the name of the package, and you have to call it out as package equals, say, dplyr, and then it would open up the package Vignet for you, and these are the different the functions that are available. And then if you go to the link, you would see a little description and an example of this particular function within that library. So this is an overall package help function, but if you want to know a very specific function of a particular package, you can also type it in this way. This is the command. This is a very helpful command. So you type so let's do one thing. Let's call a library called Plyr, and then you have loaded Plyr. So Plyr and dplyr has a problem. We'll talk about it in the later segments maybe. So let's see if it still works. Help. I'm trying to basically find out this particular function, help about this particular function, which is available in Plyr package. So if you give that command, it directly takes you to that particular function and of that particular package, and you can directly refer in this way. This was not a very good example because Plyr and dplyr has a dependency problem. This is a series. This is a way you can load these two packages together. We'll talk a little bit more in depth in the consecutive chapters. So there might be cases that when you want to search for some help or some documentation around it, but the documentations are not really very extensive within the package Vignet. So how you go about it, search outside of this area, is basically do help, sorry about my typing, help search, say dplyr again, right? Let's see. So it basically search beyond the dplyr package, and then you see it tries to search in other packages as well, right? So this is a very handy tool that if you want to search beyond a particular library, so you can do that. For any search, I would encourage that you do Google. That's the best place and Stack Overflow is a very nice place to search for help. So to ddply, you'd see a ton of material there. A lot of people talking about ddply, and if you have a particular problem, you can just go in, and then there's a huge community who, I think this is another. Stack Overflow is a very good example of finding a solution. Anyway, so what I want to show you is, suppose you want to use the ddply option, and you're not very sure how to write this function, right? So there's a handy function here. What are the arguments that are required within the function? So you do args and then say ddply. So this is how you get a feel of what are the different arguments that you need to pass for this particular function, right? So this is about libraries, and I can tell you one more handy tool, but this doesn't come with all the libraries. There are very specific libraries who provide you a demo, so you can try that out. If you're lucky, you'll get it. So let's do, say, what, graphics. So graphics is one of the built-in it loads by itself when you launch R. So it starts the demonstration. If you've written, you would hit return to plot. There you go. So you see a plot, and then you see a lot of demonstration how things are working. So you try it out, have a go, and see what are the different things that you see here. It's very interesting, right? So it's basically giving you a demonstration of the graphic package. I would encourage you to refer to this by yourself, see what is in there. All right, so now let's switch over to Python and see what are the similar things. If you have to do almost the similar things, how would you do it in Python? All right, so I have already launched my IPython here, and let's fire up a new IPython notebook. If you want to know how to install IPython and Python, refer to my old videos on how to install that. So calling a library in Python is a little different. So you do import. So there's a library called Pandas, which allows you to do data frame like operations in Python. So this is how you call import Pandas, and you do an alias as well. So import Pandas as anything that you want, right? That's how you want to call it. There's a reason why you do that. So let's do pd, and then I would run this cell. How you run a particular cell in IPython is just control and enter. So this asterisk mark means that it is running. The solid dot means it's running. So these are two indications that this particular command is getting executed. So when you get a 1 or 2 or whatever, you know that and if there is no error, that means it has run successfully, and then it becomes, this dot becomes not failed or empty. All right, so now that we have so this is the way you can call a whole package or a library Pandas, and Pandas has a lot of functions. So how you know what are the different functions that are available in Pandas. So you can either say help Pandas, or you don't want to write Pandas, and that's the reason we have done pd. So if you do pd, it still works. I see. Let's see if Pandas works or not. So Pandas doesn't work now because we have you have called it as pd. So you do pd. So when you do that, you see a lot of help material here, and it talks about the whole Pandas as the library, right? And if you see, there are different subheadings as well. So Pandas is a Pandas series, Pandas data frames, and Pandas index, panel, and all those things. And if you want to know particularly, say, about series, right? So you can do that in this way. So pd.series, help pd.series, and do control and enter. So you'd get help for pandas.pd.series. There's another very useful command or function that we use is called read underscore Csv, or there are a host of different files that to read in all those files. This is one of the very commonly used functions that is used. So to read a CSV file. So it talks about what are the different arguments that are that you can use in this, and then a little detailed, a lot of detail, I would say, a lot of details around this particular function. So I would encourage you to have a go, play around with it, and see what else you can uncover from here. So this is the way you can call a library in Python and launch different help, or documentation around a particular library. Of course, needless to say that you have Google. If you want to know about Pandas read underscore CSV, there's probably thousands of links, thousands of discussions available, right? So now, how we can update a library or install a new library? So if you have installed Anaconda, it's a very relatively easier. So you go to Anaconda, and then you'll see Anaconda prompt, right? So in Anaconda prompt, suppose you are looking for updating your Pandas library, you can use this command called conda, C-O-N-D-A, update, and the library name, Pandas. Okay. And it would look for any updates if it is available, and the dependencies as well. Okay, so as you can see, it has tried to look for it, and it is saying that Pandas is the latest version. So let's verify that Pandas yeah, so the latest version is 0, 11, 17 and 1, which we already have installed here. All right, let's close this out. Okay, all right, let's minimize this for now. There's another function that I want to show you. It is called dir. It's a very handy function for Python. So here you would see all the different functions that are available within the Pandas library, right? So and then if you want to just play around with it to know how many functions are available, just do length. So that's the length, and there are 170 functions are available in Pandas, right? And now let's try and install a new library, right, which is not available here. So let's refer to this page in Anaconda website, where we have the list of different packages that comes along with the base version. So the ones that is not checked here are the ones which we need to install separately. So let's see which one we want. Let's do CSV kit. Okay, that's a nice utility. So let's try and see if it is already installed. CSV kit. Right, well, it would not be installed. so we can call it as let's take another cell, import CSV kit. We'll get an error, so it's an import error because this particular module doesn't exist. So let's launch the Anaconda prompt and then try and install CSV kit. How you install is simple. Conda install. Your normal control V doesn't work, so do just right click on here, go to edit and paste. And needless to say, you have to have an admin right for these operations. Right, so now let's look at this message. This is very important. So so these are the dependent packages that needs to be installed in order to have this particular package. So Conda gives you all this really nice things. So you just do yes and then press enter. And it would automatically download all the dependent packages. So it's trying to download all these packages which are dependent. Right, so all it says all complete, no error, so I think it got installed. So let's try and launch this or issue this command. So control enter here. So now you can see that it has, there's no error, so it has called in this library. So let's do help about this CSV kit. So now you see you have all the documentation and reference and all the details. All right, so so I guess yeah, that's probably it in this video, and in next video we'll talk about something else. All right, so see you there. All right, thank you for watching this video.